All right. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Let me change myself here. All right, there I go. Okay. So welcome in. It's I bring it every day. Today is motivational Monday or Monday motivation. Haven't decided yet, but we like to start the week off on a positive note on this channel. And the whole idea of it is to sort of get yourself thinking about what you want to accomplish this week. And I sort of do it week by week. You can do it more often or less often that makes you comfortable. But the thing that I like to do is usually Sunday night ish, I will start off and kind of think about what I want to do this week. And so, just for example, um, so this week is going to be the holiday week for some of the people, for the people in the States for sure. And one of the things that is going to happen is, we're going to have some Thanksgiving on Thursday, and a lot of people travel. They get in the car and travel and do things like that. And then as part of this whole big ritual, a lot of people do a lot of cooking, and then visiting family and things like that. So there are a lot of people who are doing supermarket shopping. There are a lot of people who are doing, planning their flights, their driving schedules, all those things to meet up with people. So those are some examples of some, short-term goals that you need to do this week. And then maybe you need to, you might have a test you might need to study for. You got to do that. You might have to clean your house, so you have to spend some, put some time in planning to do that and working that around other things that you have to do. Some people have to work, etc. So you have to sort of take all these things and sort of schedule them just a little bit. And so what I like to do before I start my week is to do a little bit of planning. And so I just, like to challenge people. Um, you can plan, but sometimes plans go awry, and so you have to sort of adjust, as things go. But anyway, let me just look at the chat real quick. I see some people. Welcome in, and then we'll see who's in here. All right. Okay, so we have Renee Unraveled. Welcome in. Good to see you. We have Kenzie Crafter. Oh, Crazy Crafter Adventures. Oh my gosh, bad reading, and cruising is fun anytime. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. So I hope everything is went well for the weekend. This weekend for me, I always try to reflect. What did I do? So I did do a little house cleaning and things like that, and that sort of helps me. Like, I feel like I accomplished a little thing. I did some donations last week. So I had some stuff that I was, trying to decide what to do with, and I kind of let it go to one of the thrift stores. And that was cool. And that's one of those things that, if you get a chance to do it, you do it. And it does help, if you have, something to do. So anyway, there's that. So I would always like to, have everybody, consider, some of that stuff that you have laying around the house. If you're not using it and you haven't used it in a year, let it go. Let it go. So I did that with a few things that we had. All right. But anyway, let's go see who's here. Anybody else? Okay. So anyway, good to see you guys. Thanks for coming in. And so anyway, so that was a for me that was a big thing, and packing all that stuff up and driving it to the thrift store was a big thing. And then, mailing out some things for the channel. I got a chance to do that last week. So I'm very happy. Like, I got a few things accomplished. And then I'm studying for, a couple of tests. So I'm doing that. And I got quite a bit done, did about 5, 6 chapters last week. And so the nice thing is Sunday night, if you go back and kind of reflect, you kind of said, okay, I accomplished this, I accomplished that. And it does make you feel good, when you do accomplish some of the things that you set out. But the bottom line is, if you don't accomplish everything, then you do the best that you do the best that you can. And that's really what it is. And you don't want to spend too much time on this process, at least in my opinion. Because if you spend so much time, you can ruminate on things. I don't know if you're that type of person, but let me see, pull that down a little bit. So there it is. So I know Renee was planting. I remember that, and she's been knitting. And let's see, Crazy Crafter. Yeah, you'll be doing your show tomorrow, so we'll be looking for that. And we got Mafioso. Nice. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Oh, best day ever. Oh, so yes. So Renee, we'll have to talk behind the scenes. Yeah, so Renee went to her first fiber show, which was very exciting. And those are great. I'm telling you, if you are a fiber person, if you're into yarn or whatever, those shows are a lot of fun, I will say. And I'm probably been to about my how many? Probably on the 4th or 5th one now. I went to one this weekend too. The one I went to was it was kinda sad actually. And the problem is it's very small. So when you go to these small ones so the whole thing is you gotta decide, do you wanna spend money on a big one or go to a small one? And I would always say go to a small one first and then try a larger one. Yeah, so I went to a large one back in October. It's only been 3 weeks. So for me, going to another fiber show was not good because I had already purchased things. So yeah, so anyway, and it's close to the holidays. There's all these things you gotta consider in your budget, living within your budget. That's a hard thing because you wanna buy more sometimes. But let's see here. Okay, we got Butterroll Boutique. Welcome in. So here we go. I am Gubby. Oh, okay. Oh, Gubby. Sorry. Gubby Mafioso. Okay. Bad reading. But anyway, good to see you. All right. Well, thanks for the correction. Because if you're new, you gotta let me know. I don't know. So anyway, I'll show you what I'm working on real quick. I'm working on a little hat. This is one of those sort of a cloche, not exactly cloche, but sort of cloche. I don't know. It's sort of one of those flapper hats. And I pulled this out of a nice so I got string. So I have to still go. I have like 3 more rows. I have to do the brim. But I was working on this yesterday and we did that. But let's talk before I don't want people to dip off before we talk about what we're trying to do this week. So like I said, I just challenge everybody to not don't put too much pressure, and that's really what the title of today's is no pressure. Because and I understand, when you have these holiday or these family get-togethers, there's a lot of pressure to present yourself, as perfect. And so my whole thing is I always say to people, you want to have fun while you're doing it and you don't want to put too much pressure. Now, how do you avoid the pressure? You avoid the pressure by planning, you know. And so like I said there's too much planning and not enough planning, but you want to have enough planning, so that you don't have to, scramble. So the whole thing is with a lot of this, you sort of know you have your menu, you know what you're going to make, but you want to make sure that you have everything, early so that you're not, scrambling like the day before. Because the day before Thanksgiving, which would be Wednesday, is always bad. And I don't know if any of you guys have ever traveled the night before Thanksgiving, but I've done it about 8 times and I would never recommend that for anybody unless if you can avoid it. You know what I mean? And I'll tell you, I have some horror stories I can tell you real quick, but let's see here. I'm going to see if anybody's over here. Uh, let's see. I don't see. There we go. Aha. There we go. All right. So anyway, so there we go. I'm just checking both streams here, making sure everybody's doing okay. All right. So let's see. We got Miss Suzanne is here. Good to see you. Welcome in. And everybody's saying hi. Yeah, no pressure. So that's the deal. No pressure. Or minimize the pressure. I guess that's the only thing that I could say to you is to minimize the pressure. So like I said, how do you do that? You make sure that you plan everything as far in advance as you can. And so you get that menu, you get your shopping list. You stick to that shopping list when you go into the supermarket, and then you go from there. And so I think that's the first thing that you can do. And then the second thing is, I always say if you require help, like a lot of times I need a sous chef periodically because a lot of people I know when they do these meals and everything, they try to do it all themselves. And I am a proponent of not doing that just for the mental health situation because you don't want to have pressure. And that's really it. Because I think everybody feels, the pressure to be perfect. And not everything's going to be perfect, but you can do your best. And that's really all you can do in life is to do the best that you can with what you have and, not make yourself, I hate to use the word crazy, but that's the only word that I can come up with. You know what I mean? Okay, so we have Life with Tasharia. Welcome in. Good to see you. Yes, okay. And, oh, this is good. Oh, and then Butter Roll Boutique is saying, "I love that. Thank you." Yeah, no pressure. I mean, that's where we're at. And this is a really simple thing today. Nothing real deep. Now, let's see. Crazy Crafter Adventures is saying, "I got my goals for this week. Don't have to travel to my daughter's house. Wow, that is huge. And that's good to have your goals set. And that's what I like to like I try to challenge people. Think about it not right before you go to bed, but just think about just generally what you want to, what you want to accomplish for the week. Then you just take the steps that you need to go and then you do the best you can. And that's really all I say is you do the best you can. Because a lot of people, like I said, and I don't know how your family is. My family was very high pressure, just in general, about everything. And so I took the opposite view to life. I said, listen, I can't live under constant pressure. And there's a lot of, and it's funny, it's very interesting. And I'm not a medical person, but they talk about cortisol. Cortisol is one of those hormones that's released under stress. It's a stress hormone. And one of the prime examples of this cortisol is people get chubby around the middle. And it was interesting when I was working, at the very end of my career, because it got over the years more and more pressure, I got rounder and rounder. And it was the weirdest thing. And I could not break it. Now I forget what they say to do. You have to do your research on that. But it's that fight or flight kind of thing. You're in that, and then your body just goes, whoa, what the heck? You know what I mean? But anyway, that's just one of those examples. You just get puffy like around the middle. It's very weird. Yes. And everybody's saying hi. Yes. Good to see you. And yeah, Renee saying no travels, keep it mellow. Yes. And I think that's the deal. You have to. You really have to. And you have to, like I said, I always say with whatever it is you're doing, you have to have fun because if you're not having fun, it's just over. You know what I mean? It's going to be a miserable situation. So for me, I'm trying to avoid the pain. I'm a pain avoider, so that's what you do. Yeah. All right now. So let's see. I'm going to look at the chat real quick. Yes. And then, okay, everybody's saying hi. So that's really the short, kind of the short thing of this Monday motivation is, try to do the best you can this week. Meet up with your family and try to keep it chill, keep it mellow, like Renee said. I love it. And not traveling really does help the whole when I say traveling far distances. So I'll give you an example. So when I was in college, I went to school a few states away, and I was too close to fly, but I didn't have a car at the time. So I was constantly driving the night before Thanksgiving or getting on a plane or whatever. And I'll never forget the one day I had to fly. I was so lucky. Well, so anyway, I was working for this company and they had this deal with this. We had a little tiny airline, little airport by where I worked, and they used to literally fly you. How many miles is that? Like to the nearest airport, it was about 45 miles, and they would literally fly you there. Now, driving there was terrible because we have the worst roads. Pennsylvania has the worst roads in America. I think one of the worst. And it's only because of it's the terrain. Like there's mountains and then the weather is terrible, in Pennsylvania. So the roads are brutal, and they're not straight. Like a lot of places in the South and the Midwest, everything's straight. You can drive really fast. Not here, not in Pennsylvania. You really can't because you're meandering past rivers and all this other stuff. It's crazy. But the thing is, I had to fly out. I had to because my parents were like, "You got to be home for Thanksgiving." And I was like, "Oh gosh," and they had no idea, like, for me, it was a financial thing, and then it was I think at that point I was working, but I used to have to take Greyhound. Like, when I was in college, I took Greyhound because that was really all I could afford, and that was brutal because there was always some weirdo on there or the buses were late. One time, I'll never forget, they had a little rest stop, and they said, "Okay, we're gonna have a 20-minute break." And I said, "Great." And I said, "I'm gonna go." And so I used the restroom. And I was in there like 2.5 minutes, and the bus pulled off without me. And I'll never forget that. And I was like, I will never ever do that again. Like that was so brutal. And and I don't know if the guy just changed his mind. He just was like, "Well, nobody got off. I'll just go." And they just left. So I had to go wait for the next one and then go get my luggage, which was brutal. So anyway, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, that was a nightmare. And then I think another time, so the one time I did fly, I had to fly to another state. So luckily, this little airport by my job had flights to get to the airport instead of driving. Like we could have driven there or taken a shuttle or whatever. And I remember getting in this. It was like a puddle jumper, and it flew over the expressway that got to the airport, and I remember it was bumper to bumper. So in the one direction you see white lights, in the other direction you see the red lights. I have it backwards, but anyway, and it was not moving. And it took so the flight took, I think it was 15 minutes in the air. So it's like, 5 minutes to taxi up in the air, and then you land. And the thing that was funny was we were just flying over the expressway, which outlines this river, and it was not moving. And I thought those poor people in the car, who knows if they even made their flights because it just wasn't moving. And this was the night before Thanksgiving years ago. But anyway, that's a nightmare. So I want to say avoid that if you can. Yeah, and avoid the Greyhound bus. That was not good for me either. But anyway, we'll look at the chat and see what they're saying. Okay. So yeah, those are two nightmare days I remember traveling the night before. Okay, but anyway, I want to just take the moment and say, yeah, thank you, Nightbots. Thanking everybody who supports the I Bring It Every Day channel. Yeah, it's hard out here on the YouTube streets, and the fact that people come in and support is awesome. So I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you to the subscribers and the members and anybody who comes in here. But anyway, but yeah, so let's see. Renee said, I think I need more mental health breaks. Yes, where I go do stuff alone and decompress. Yesterday was good for me. I'm a caretaker by nature. Yeah, and I think a lot of women are. We really, um, yeah, I can say I've. Me too. Me too. Okay, we got Jersey Steph. Hey, Jersey loves Steph. Gotcha. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, I mean, we're all. I think women not to generalize, but women are kind of you know programmed to be the caretakers, and a lot of times we take care of everybody else before ourselves. And definitely, you have to take time for yourself, and there's no harm or no foul in looking out for yourself because nobody else will. Yeah, for sure. In my opinion. Yep. Yep. And yep, Butter Boutique is, yeah, she agrees. Mental health breaks are necessary. Yeah, that's for sure. And whatever it takes. So for me, like the other day, it was so funny. My husband and I were doing stuff around the house, and he was putting a lot of pressure on himself actually to get some stuff done. And I said, you know, we were cranking at it for I don't know how many hours, probably 3 or 4 hours, just kind of hard, going, going, going. Went to the store, bought stuff for the house and whatever. And he was putting stuff together. And then he said, I am exhausted. And I said, I get that. And this is one of the bad things that we do, but we have an ice cream place that we enjoy. And it's a local small owned business. That's a dairy, and they make their own ice cream. And it's about maybe 6 or 7 minutes from the house. So we have to do a little driving to get there. But we went there the other day, and it was the weirdest thing. We just went there and got a sandwich he gets an ice cream cone. I got a little scoop of ice cream. And just that little 20-minute break really helped. And because I think we were both kind of feeling like just exhausted. And so, you don't want to get yourself to that point. But I remember I went to bed pretty early that day, and I'm I do go to bed earlier than a lot of people do. Only because I've just noticed that if I'm doing a lot, usually by 10:30, 11, I'm done, and I'm no good really after about 9 PM my time. So I feel like I have to do whatever. But anyway, but taking that little break and go into that little small business, which I will say shout out to the small businesses, you know, um, definitely make sure you support all those small businesses because they really need the support. It's sort of like, YouTube. We're all kind of small businesses here in a way. Some are bigger, but they really appreciate it. And usually, the owner just laughs because she comes by and sees us. We didn't see her the other day, But, she came by and she was like a couple of times that we go over there, we usually just get a BLT sandwich, which I can do at home. I don't know why we do this, but we get a BLT and then a scoop of ice cream. And it's the weirdest combination, but we really enjoy it. And it's just a nice chill place to go. And that's sort of what we do. But I would say, you find that happy place, and we just love to get a little ice cream, and that's probably not the best for you, but you get a scoop and then you're good to go. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, Susan. Hey, Susan Vincent's here. Welcome in. Not going anywhere, not cooking. Good. Yeah. Well, you deserve the rest. Yes. Watching football all day. Happy Thanksgiving. Not hurting turkey. Okay. I just laugh because yeah, football. That's a good football day. I don't know if you guys are into football. I used to be so obsessed with football. I really was. I think I overdid it as a young person. And, you know, it's but I enjoy it. Yeah, I mean, I do enjoy the whole thing. Okay, we got New Horizons. Good to see you. And Natural Nene over there on Instagram. Welcome in. Welcome in. All right. Okay. Got it. Good to see you guys. And I hope you and Angela and the real Angela Young is here. Hey, Angela Real Young. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, so like I said, the holidays are coming. And I think people feel like they have to do kind of what the Joneses are doing, following the Joneses. And you have to do what works best for you and your mental health. And if you don't cook, it's all good. Susan Vincent gets a pass. I wish I could send you a massage, the massage person, so they could come and take care of you, for a couple hours. That would be so nice, Then if they could come in, give you a massage, do your nails, do your hair, that kind of thing. And then just like relax, and just listen to the quiet, and I don't know if you guys are into spas. I haven't been to a spa, I guess, since the big C or the little C came, but those are great, and I used to do that on vacation, a lot. That's the only time I would do it is just say, hey, vacation is a prime time, to go get that spa treatment, and I think those are great for mental health as well. Yep. Just a little break. But, good morning, Shatika's here. Yes. Grand rising. Blessings. Yes, blessings to you. Thank you so much. But, yeah, I mean, so like I said, I mean, I can tell you, I don't know if these things are even still in existence, but, um, sometimes we would visit my in-laws live, about 50 miles away or so. And so for us to get there, we have to do some driving. And the one year, I don't know, it was kind of interesting. Like they have a lot of people that come in and out of their house and stuff. And if there's still a Boston market, which I know is I'm not sponsored, and I know this sounds gross, but the thing that I noticed is um if you don't want to do Thanksgiving dinner, and I don't even know if they're even still in, like a lot of them are shutting down, but they do a turkey, which is amazing. It's a turkey. You can do turkey or the chicken, so they do like the whole chickens so you get a whole chicken, couple whole chickens, and they do turkey, stuffing, potatoes, green beans, um, sweet potatoes, like the whole thing. And it used to be cheap. Now I know right now with everything going up, it's not cheap anymore, but it used to be about I did that for my in-laws a couple times, and I just got the I call it the Thanksgiving dinner, and I think I got a turkey and a chicken. Oh, MD Media's here. Thank you. Yes. Okay. Yes. Thank you to all small business owners. Have a blessed day. Yeah. Thank you. Sorry, I missed MD Media. Thanks for coming in. Yeah. So, but anyway, but the thing that was interesting was my sister-in-law, who's a cook. She's a pretty serious cook, and she was like, why are you bringing this crap over into the house and whatever? I said, well, the whole thing is, even though it's not my house, so I can't cook at somebody else's house. It's a little difficult. But I said, I'm going to bring some food, and then, you can eat it at your leisure, and then it's there, like you don't have to worry about it. Well, and yeah. Oh, okay. Grocery stores do that. Yeah. But the thing that was nice about Boston Market, they had this I call it the cracked cornbread. I don't know what they put in this cornbread, but it was so good. And my husband and my kids would just inhale this cornbread. I don't know what, I think it was sugar. It was like all sugar, but it was delicious. It was like the cornbread and then the turkey. because I think they did it in a pressure cooker. Like it had a kind of a pressure cookery kind of situation. So it was very, very tender. And it was mostly breast meat. So I think they just cut it off. And it was so good. And then the gravy and the mashed potato, the whole thing. But the thing that was funny was my sister-in-law, who's a cook, said, "Ah, you're bringing this, crap food in the house and no one's gonna eat it." Well, guess what happened? That turkey was amazing, and even the chicken, like, I'm not a huge chicken fan, but I will tell you, that chicken, my in-laws inhaled it, and they were like, "Oh my god, this is so good." And I said, "I know, it's great, and then you didn't have to make it," which for me is like, and they delivered it to the house, which I was like, "Yeah." So it was ready to go. So I love that. But yeah, now how's the grocery store? See, I have to know, yeah, which ones are good. Like I know, we don't have, not Trader Joe's, the other one. Well, we have Wegmans. So I don't know if anybody on the East Coast, they're based out of New York. Wegmans always has like a full blown line, where you can go in there and get all this different food. They have Indian food, Chinese food, pizza, all these different things. And you can go in there and you can take it out. Like they do catering also, and then sandwiches, and then hoagies. You can do all those kind of things. But I was surprised at how good just their regular food was, actually pretty decent. Now the Chinese I thought was bad, but they had Indian food, so they had tikka masala and all this other stuff. It was really good. And I said, in a pinch, like you could go in there and get that. And that would save you a little aggravation, those days. Now I know, like this year, I noticed that a lot of the local supermarkets here are closing, are shutting down for Thanksgiving. But in the old days, they would stay open like a couple of hours so people could do their last minute stuff, and then you could keep it moving. But anyway, there's some ways around it. So I always say, hey, go to those. Yeah. So once again, and I will echo MD Media 18. Yeah. Those small businesses, like this holiday, you can really, you know, patronize these small businesses, which we really love. Like we really have gotten away from, a lot of those bigger stores, you know what I mean? And we're really trying hard, not to spend a whole lot of money this time around. But, and I still haven't bought my little bit of, like, we're gonna get a turkey breast, I'm thinking, and I'll make some stuffing or dressing, and then I think maybe some potatoes. We do have potatoes, so I will do that. And I can't think, and that's probably it, because it's just my husband and myself. So I can't get too crazy with the cooking. Yeah. Oh, we got Miss Lydia's here. Lydia Nannon, hello. Good to see you. Okay, yes, and see, and I had a feeling this was gonna happen. Yes, Susan saying. Susan Vincent. Our Boston market shut down. Yeah, that's brutal. I'm so sad about them because they actually seem like they were realish food, Okay. KFC does Cajun fried turkey. Interesting. And as an alternative, they have a promotion called Cluck Turkey, offering a chicken meal. Okay. See, I haven't been to KFC in a long time. So this is all new to me. But these are just some things that you can do. And even if you just, if you go visit people, like bring something over, if you can't cook. Because like I said, a lot of this is very stressful. It really is. So I understand, like this whole thing is really brutal. If you let it, if you let it get out of hand. But anyway, but like I said, back to my sister-in-law, she hated the idea that I brought food in, but as soon as she ate it, she was happy. And then she ended up taking some home, which, how dare you bring this food in? I'm sorry. I just snicker every time I think about that because that was funny. Yeah, that was pretty funny. Let's see, Renee saying it's important to focus on gratitude. Yes. We have first world problems worrying about this stuff. A lot of people are hungry. Girl, yes. Yeah. And I will echo that. I'm gonna take a little sip real quick. Excuse me. Mm. Yeah, one of the like we have a food bank by our house. And let me tell you something. It is brutal. I don't know, like I can't tell where I live. I'm on the edge. I'm on the edge of richness and poor. Like I have rich people and poor people. I really am. I'm so on the, that's how I've lived my entire life, on the edge of all this stuff. But I have noticed that we have a church nearby and they do the food bank. I don't know how often, once or twice a month. And I notice as time has gone on, more and more people are lining up earlier and earlier. So if it's at 2 o'clock, people are lining up at like 11 or 10. So it is brutal, and when that line goes around this church, because the church has a huge parking lot, that line, and they have to have people, they have people lining them. They have a little snake that they're going through, a little queue. And I say, and every time that time goes by, yeah, it just gets bigger and bigger. So that's telling me that people are having a harder and harder time of it. Yep. Yeah, but you're right. Yeah, this is first world problems. You know, but like I said, I just think a lot of this too is, keeping up with the Joneses, right? As they say. There's pressure with that. And you can't, how your life is different from mine and vice versa and all these things. So this is what you have to do to try to, yeah, oh, meat is limited. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Let's see. I don't know how to pronounce LM. That's it. 0987. All right. Yeah, meat is limited. I did hear that. Um, Now allegedly, now I did hear this that the Wally World Thanksgiving dinner has come down in price. This is what they say. Now, I don't shop there, so you guys would have to tell me, anybody who knows. But apparently they say that, yeah, that the prices have come down. And I saw actually something really interesting with those, those free turkeys that you get from the supermarket. Um, Somebody on that neighborhood app said, "Oh, just LM. Okay, gotcha, gotcha." Oh, okay. Hang on just a second. So somebody, what did they say? They had a free turkey that they had, acquired the points at a supermarket, and the guy said, "I'm buying it Tuesday at whatever time. Come to the shopping center, where this supermarket is, and I'm going to give it to the first person that comes." And I guess they did. So I'm dying to know, like, what happened with that. Yeah, let's see. But yeah, focusing on gratitude is awesome. That's a good way to, kind of take the pressure off yourself for sure. Yep, first come, first serve, that's right, LM saying. And then Ryan just asked me, to oh, he asked me to back a piece for football. Oh, piece of pie. Oh, bake a pie for football. Okay, all right. And you're setting a special place for candlelight. Okay, with candlelight. So it's pie, sparkling cider, and wine. Nice. That's pretty cool. Oh, never heard of Wally World. Yeah, so I'm just to not give the real name of the store. That's just a nice way of saying one of the stores. Yep. Thanks, Renee. Yep. Thank you, Renee. Yeah. So yeah, so they say that their prices of their Thanksgiving stuff has come down. So I'm like, okay. But I wouldn't know, but I saw that the per pound price of turkey to me looks a little higher than it's been in other years, but I don't know. Just kind of looking at the ads or hearing ads go by. Yeah, oh gotcha. Yep. Yep, LM. So that's the whole thing. So every week, we're just trying to do a little planning for the week, do a few things, accomplish a few things for the week, and then, go on about your business and then take the steps. And that's the whole thing. You got to take the steps because things don't fall out of the sky for most people. You have to actually do some work. So, like I said, these like the holiday season is starting. And I would say, try to keep it as low pressure as you can or no pressure. And if you're feeling the pressure, then that's when you have to sort of extricate yourself and then do other things. You know what I mean? Give yourself that little break. So my husband and I, we go to the ice cream place and we chill there. And like I said, we go for about 20 minutes, eat our little thing, and then we get the heck out of there. And then we were good. And like I said, we were really under pressure to, trying to get some things done with the house. And yeah, yes. Oh, okay. Let's see. No, their food has gone up. I used to shop there all the time. This is what LM's saying. They're slightly cheaper than other places, but their customer service took a dive. Oh, yeah. I had to cancel membership. Interesting. Yeah. See, now the only good thing about the membership is, they'll bring it out to your car. Like, I think that's great if you don't, if you have any health issues, you don't want to walk because those stores are big. And I always, even though like Walmart is new to my area, when I say new, within the last, decade and a half, We didn't have Walmart in our area, and they sort of came in and just took over, like they do in other places too, I'm sure. So for I think I got seduced by the cheap prices at first, but then I sort of recognized the evil stuff that goes on behind. And what I mean is, a lot of the smaller businesses, went to pot, when Walmart took over because they moved in the west side of town, the east side of town, and the middle. Three stores, boom, 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 just like that. And it really changed a lot of things. So they have a lot of pull, in terms of the markets and things that happen. But I think that deliveries or not delivery. Well, they do deliver, but I think that car service is nice for people who have trouble walking because those stores I think are way too big. You just can't get in and out of them. You know what I mean? Okay. Oh, Susan's saying 39 cents a pound for the brand store turkey. Yeah, yours is cheaper where you guys are. I think I've the cheapest one I've seen so far was 79 cents a pound. Yeah. So you guys in California are doing way better. I don't know why like turkey's so high here. But yeah, I don't know. Can't figure that out at all. It's very interesting. Yeah. So let's see here. So trying to think anything else. What else is happening this week? So that's really it. I've been trying to do a little, trying to keep the channel going, doing a few little things of content. And I've been really happy about, things are going okay. I'm just chugging along, but like I said, I'm just hoping that people can find that this is a safe space. You can sort of chill and, it's a judgment free zone unless you do something crazy. And that's the truth, right? Let's see. We go, oh, Boss Lady Denise joined. Hello. Good to see you. Yeah, so that's where we are. Oh, and okay. I forget Adam's World. I know you have another channel name, but thank you for coming in. Thank you so much. Yeah, so I don't know what you guys think. So are you guys ready? I mean, I guess so the whole thing is are you ready to start? Well, you have no choice. Like we're all here. So you have to start your week off as well as you can. Eat well this week. Try your darndest to minimize the pressure. Don't feel like you have to do what your next door neighbors are doing. And that's a big thing, I think, in the United States. A lot of people are just really high pressure. Got to have a fancy home, a fancy car. You got to do this, you got to do that. So forget about all that stuff and just make these, holidays manageable. And this, like I said, Thanksgiving is the next one that's coming up. But let's see me go back to the chat. Let's see. Yeah, 39 cents a pound is great, Susan. And then Renee said, I also do not put pressure on our kids for holidays. Good for you. It doesn't hurt my feelings if they go other places for holidays. It's just a day that can be done anytime. Okay. And I think that's a good point, Renee. I'm gonna run with that for just a second. Yeah, I think that see, I know, and my family was really intense about that. And I remember like you're just driving and you're driving, you almost get into an auto accident because you're like so focused. I got to get home. I got to get home. Yeah. And I had that pressure. Yeah. I definitely went through that growing up. And I had to move away from where I was originally from, just like job situations and things like that. So I always lived, pretty far from my parents. So yeah, I mean, that's really nice of you to do that. But Renee's a caregiver. So I understand why you get that. A lot of people don't get that at all, because like I said, it's just you have to ask yourself, like, why do you extend yourself so much, like the cooking and all that stuff? Like who's it for? Is it? I mean, if you want to do it, that's fine. But if you don't want to do it, then you can find what works for you. You know what I mean? And that's okay too, right? And I think a lot of people don't realize that. Like you do have like once again. So last week we talked about everything in life is a choice. And there you go. It kind of swings back to that again. Everything in life is a choice. And so, and when you're grown, you're able to make these choices. So I always say, make sure that, there's consequences to every choice, right? But, if you're feeling stressed out, then de stress yourself. You know what I mean? And do whatever it is that's going to bring you a little bit. You want to have joy. Like I said, life's too short. You need joy. No pressure. And that's that's my final word there. So I don't know what you guys think. Let me know. And everybody in the for the replay people, let me know, what you think. And the Instagram people, let me know what you think also. And let me know if I'm making sense. Cuz like I said, I've had some time on my hands. So I've been sort of like thinking about a lot of this stuff. And it is. It's like life is too short. You really have to, live it, be in the moment. And like I said, once again with the planning, you don't want to over plan, but you want to be in the moment and enjoy all that family time, with the people or with whomever you love. You want to spend time, really be in the moment and enjoy it because life is short. Yeah. Right. We do one last look at the chat. See Susan. Okay. Yeah. And Susan Vincent saying, yeah, Renee, that's great. My son and his family live about 20 minutes away and they do their own thing. We can be thankful any day of the year. Oh yeah, let me get back to that. That's a good point. Yeah. And November, I kind of think of November as gratitude month. And it's only because Thanksgiving's there. But really, when it comes down to it, you're right. No, you should be grateful for everything every day, every day. Yes. Okay. She's joyfully watching Hobby Bingo. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. I haven't really done a whole lot with that. I've watched a few times, but it's cool. You know what I mean? And hopefully you win some good yarn. And sadly they are having sales, but try not to look at those too much. But yeah, it's kind of cool. But good luck to everybody this week. I don't know where I'll pop up again. We'll see. We're just sort of flying by the seat of my pants. These last couple weeks, it's been kind of interesting. Oh, there's okay. Love Crochet Babe. Good to see you over there on Instagram. But just make sure you guys, enjoy the week. Take care of yourselves. And once again, see, I can't really report on this food, but there's a lot of weird food stuff going on. Some more recalls. And I'll tell you, I'll talk about this last thing. This is completely off topic. But there's some scandal going on with Campbell's soup. So do your research on that. And there's some bad news about Campbell's soup. So check it out. I really think if I'm not a big soup person, but I would say you might want to choose some other stuff as a way to feed and nourish your body. I would recommend it. So check out, go do your research and check out Campbell's soup and what's happening over there. Yes. Okay. Yep. And Renee saying agreed, Susan, right? And then okay, and Suzanne saying I'm joyfully knitting socks. Number 2 of the pair. Okay, good for you. Yeah, I did buy a sock needle. I forgot to say I did buy a sock needle at the craft at the fiber fair. And that was all it's really all I got. It was kind of sad because I had seen most of these vendors before. And so I really didn't buy anything, but I could have. And I really didn't see anything exciting. Like I was expecting, I don't know what I was expecting, but it was a little small one. But anyway, yeah, Renee, we'll have to talk behind the scenes. You got to fill me in what happened at your place. And so, like I said, if you can get out, visit some of these smaller vendors. And I got a chance to talk to a few of the vendors at the show. And I kind of told them, I was like, listen, I just purchased a bunch of stuff, last month. I can't really buy a whole lot more. But I started following a lot of these people on Instagram. And so I'm going to be following them and maybe purchasing some stuff, at a later time. But it's pretty cool. Yeah. So once again, getting back to that small business. Yep. Okay. Oh, good. And then Renee's going to record some things today and play with yarn. Yep. I love it. Let's say, Shorty Socks and DK work up really fast. I like DK. This lady had a bunch of DK. I should have bought some, but that's next time. I'm gonna have to, gotta spread that budget. Let's spread that budget. But I am kind of feeling some DK. Kind of digging on the DK. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Oh, have a great day. Thanks. Thanks so much. All right, you guys. Well, listen, thank you for coming in. And I'm gonna finish my little hat. Got more to go. Got to put the little flower on it, but there it is. My little hat. Got one more row. I got to put the brim on here, and then we're good. But I'm just, like I said, this weekend just playing around, and that's what I do. I just dabble. I dabble in a couple of different things, and it's been fun. But like I said, create something pretty. Enjoy yourselves this week. Don't eat too much, but enjoy it, and try to eat some good food. So this is where I'm at again. So get that fresh stuff as fresh as you can get it. Try to avoid like that packaged stuff like the SOUP in the can. Yeah, it's kind of brutal. There's some interesting ingredients in that soup, I will say. So check it out. And you can do better yourself. You really can. And I'm sticking by it. You can do better. Yeah. So let's do it. But peace and love. And we'll see you. Let me see. One last thing. Oh, have a great day. Yep. Okay. Very good. And I'm going to say thank you to Drizzle Stank, wherever you are. Peace and love. Hey.
When does she bring it? Every day.
Every day.
How often does she bring it? Every day.
Every day.
Knitting, crafting, singing, even crochet.
Every day.
When does she bring it?
Every
day. I bring it every day.
Every day.
Bring it every day.
Every day.
I bring it every day.
Every day.
Bring it every day. When does she bring it? Every day. How often does she bring it?
Every day.
Knitting, crafting, singing,
Every day.
crochet. When does she bring it?
Every day.
Cooking up something hot on Friday night. Come and stop by. I bring it every day.
Every day.
All right. And peace and love.